Hi everybody, my name is Joe. I'm a doctoral student studying clinical psychology, and this is Psych Made Simple. Now today, we're continuing our series on cognitive behavioral therapy, or CBT. Last time we did an overview of CBT overall and the general thought, emotion, bodily sensations, and behavior model that CBT operates with. And today we're going to specifically focus on thoughts in that model. I'll bring up a picture of that model here for you. And we're going to focus on thoughts because a lot of times thoughts are a good avenue to make change in the other areas, right? Now, thoughts are, of course, important in themselves, but thoughts also have effects on, how we're feeling, either emotionally or physically, and also behaviors that we're engaging in. And, of course, all these different aspects of ourselves intersect with each other, but a lot of times thoughts are a good way to start intervening and making change across the whole model. Now, we're going to talk about a couple different problems with your thinking. Sometimes these are called unhelpful thinking patterns or thinking traps. If you're a fancy psychologist, you'll call it a cognitive distortion. But I think the other two titles of unhelpful thinking pattern or thinking traps are a lot of times more relatable and more helpful. Now, we're going to go through two examples of thinking traps. There's a lot of different ways to define them or categorize thinking traps. There's a lot of overlap between the different ones, but I picked out two just to kind of explain the general idea. And of course, in future videos, we can always go over specific ones if that's something that you're interested in. Now, we're going to start with black and white thinking. This is also sometimes called all or nothing thinking. And basically what this is being unable to see nuance or kind of ignoring nuance and just assuming that something or someone is all good or all bad, like they can't really go in between. And a lot of times, one example would be looking at yourself, and if you make one mistake, then you might start thinking, I'm a complete failure, I can never succeed, right? And if we bounce back to this model, then if you start thinking, I'm a complete failure, then you might not try to do things, you might not engage in, behaviors that can help you be more successful. And, if you think, I'm a complete failure, I can never succeed, that might make you feel really down and depressed and feel not good about yourself, right? Another example of a thought distortion or cognitive distortion or thinking trap is overgeneralization. And basically what overgeneralization is taking what happened in one instance and assuming that it's true in all instances or across, all people, for example. So if one person says, I hate you, which sometimes happens, then you might assume, okay, everyone hates me, like everyone on the planet, you might start thinking that, no one loves me, everyone hates me, right? And again, if we think about how that's going to make us feel or how it's going to make us behave, it's probably not going to be really great, right? And just a basic overview of how, in CBT, therapists would help someone overcome this, and something you can, of course, do yourself, too, is to kind of do what's sometimes called detective work, right? And kind of look at the proof on either side of your thought being true or your thought being not true, and start with thinking, okay, what is the proof that my thought of everyone hates me is true? And maybe the evidence for that is, well, one person said they hate me, and then you might think to yourself, okay, well, what about other people? Do they hate me too? Do I have any evidence of that? Another thing to do too is look at, are there any facts that you're ignoring or overlooking? So maybe you could think, well, is there anyone that actually said they love me or that they like me? Oh, well, actually, my parents told me that they like me or that, they love me. Then, okay, well, that kind of disproves that thought that everyone hates you, right? So that can't be true. So then once you have some evidence to kind of overcome that negative thought that you're kind of stuck on, then you can start thinking, what is a more realistic alternative? So maybe the alternative is, okay, there's this one person at work that's really rude and said that they hate me, but that doesn't mean that everybody hates me. There's a lot of people that do love me. So, I don't have to let that one person define my identity. So that's just one example. But hopefully this is helpful to kind of explain just the basic ideas of looking at the evidence for different thoughts that are really causing problems in our lives, and then that can have positive effects in not only for our thoughts and also for other things like how we feel and how we behave. So as always, thank you so much for watching, and please like, subscribe if you like the videos, and if you have any thoughts, you can comment. If you have any questions, please comment. I'd be happy to answer, and if you have anything that you'd like me to make a video about, I'm happy to do that in the future as well, so please leave a comment about that. Thank you so much, and have a great rest of your day.